What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Nutrient Shootouts. So this is what I've been up to for the past 6 months. This will be a new 12K. I was gonna have hanging lights, but with the amount of lights and light spread, it just seemed a little overkill to add another 4,000 watts worth of hanging. But what we're doing is basically what we've done before with a flood and drain. 4x8 trays and 1,000 watts every 4 foot. So we've got my Galaxy ballast running my old XXL 6-inch, and then we've got, which I have one that went bad on me, Phantom 2s running the new Raptors, which I need to clean all this stuff up, and 3 carbon filters, pull the air, they exhaust it out either side, and I actually have these little ozone shocker treatment plates that produce 20 grams of ozone a day, and they're just tucked in the outputs, and they produce ozone to kill off any remaining smells. Have the environmental controller, incoming air, and of course all the oscillating fans. All of it is Z-Wave controlled, including the environmental controller where I can press one button and shut the whole system down. Air pumps still need to be hooked up. Speed controllers in the room essentially needs to be dialed in, but in Michigan where it's pretty cold, everything is actually doing pretty good with the amount of heat generated from the lights and the semi-rigid tubing radiating heat that comes off of, you know, what's being ducted and exhausted. So I'm using these 220 volt capable Z-Wave controller, high current switches with 8 gauge off the panel to trigger and power all the lights, and all the water pumps will be handled through that, and then of course all the air pumps, all 6 of them are going to be tied to the same single circuit and put on one more controller too, and so I can turn those on hours before a feed, or I can just leave them on, but if I have to turn them off, make the room quiet, I can do it with a touch of a button. So what else? The fans are on speed controllers, so if for some reason I'm getting some sort of wind burn or something coming off any of these fans, I can basically dial them down individually. I have 4 controllers for 6 fans, so 2 fans on either side is on one controller. Of course, I've got to clean up all my cabling and make it look all pretty. Hopefully through this weekend I will have essentially everything done. I've got to get some air tubes for the air stones, some vinyl, and some plastic 3-ways to hook up the last of the plumbing. I believe I've got all the tubes that I need, and all the fittings for the flood and drain. I've got 2 tables done. I know I've got enough for 5, but I just gotta outfit them and get them done. I have to bring in the garden hose, the water feed. I gotta poke a hole for a drain that I will use a pump to drain out nutrients into the outdoor beds. And of course I just need a little bit of an outlet to push the wastewater from the 3 RO systems, 2 200s and 1 100. And then I've got a line right here that's gonna get poked into the wall, and that'll go upstairs to the veg operation. So this is all flowering, 115 gallons, really filled up, but about 100 gallons of reservoir per tray, and yeah, 48 plants is what we're shooting for, 8 per tray, 4 per light. This is gonna be blue, but what we have here is all my CFLs laid out to be able to do mothers and clones. We might move some of the smaller ones around, but for now it's all right in the center where I have essentially the most working height. It's a little short up here, but as you can see the floor drops down. So what I've done here is I've got 4,000 watts, but it's actually set up for 6K. So carbon filter will pull the room's air in, pull it through all the lights, and then it exhausts it out. And again, I still have to mount the environmental controller and get it dialed in, but this is essentially the metal halide veg room to be able to veg, you know, around 60 to then put into flowering. So it's coming along pretty good. Same 220 controller, and yeah, everything works good. Everything's looking quite good. There'll be mothers and some clone racks as needed, and tables and all that stuff. So I still have to push insulation down in the corners there to kind of finish light proofing everything and make it a little quieter throughout. So that's that. So in the front here you can see that there's a lot of pots and, you know, a couple of my reservoirs for veg. So again, the cloner. So throughout the weekend, I'm gonna try to get all this stuff moved up, move it out, and set where it needs to be. And hopefully we'll be also planting seeds this weekend of 6 different strains, mostly from TGA and a couple from BOG. And everything's gonna be starting to come up. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and we're gonna bring the channel back into a lot of activity. So we're gonna do constant updates and consistently film with how the build progresses. It's been a long time coming. It's been going on almost 2 years since I've grown anything. Had a couple Galaxy ballasts die on me, and then I had a Phantom 2 die, and then the one that was shipped to me actually was bad. So I'm just behind like a little bit on actual hardware that I need, but everything else is good to go. So we'll see you on the channel.